Inventory management template is made up of the dashboard, the admin, the receipts, the sales, the purchases, the stock balances. So to start with the admin, and you input the details in the admin, the school name, the address, the various units, then the categories, you input them, then your suppliers as you have them here, you can see. Then the next thing to do is to go to your stock balances and do your stock count and record the details of the stock you have at present before starting to use the template. So we have to do the recording on the item, record the item ID, the category of the item, which is marked textbook, which is stationery, the unit in pieces, the opening stock, the number of pieces, 21 of them. The minimum stock we must have 5, the opening balance in amount in Naira, which is 90,000. Then we record for all our items just like that. The next thing to do after you have inputted all your stock balances while taking your stock is to go to your purchases. When you have any purchase made, go to purchases and you record the order number for that order. That is when you order from your suppliers. The order number, you put the day and the month it was ordered. You put the supplier, the name of the supplier and the item being ordered for. That is the item you are purchasing from your supplier. The item ID, the same thing, the same ID you are using under your stock balances. Then you put the unit, the quantity you are expecting, 25 pieces, then the cost for that amount. And from there, you can go to payment. That is, if you are making payment, you record the payment. So you do that by putting the order number, and the date, the supplier name, and the amount paid. So you've paid 40 out of 60,000. You will discover that the amount will come down to 20,000 now. See, you now have 20,000 as balances. So payments are recorded here, while the order itself are recorded under here. Now, if you are issuing out some of those inventory items to your students, this is how to record. You come to the portion under sales here, the worksheet under sales. Then you start with the reference number, you put the date and the month. Then you put the student name, the item that the student is getting, the item ID, the same ID you use under the stock balances for the item. Then the unit, which is in pieces for this one. How many is the student getting? Just one copy. Then we put the cost price and the selling price. Now let us assume you just purchase a new inventory item that was not included or not part of your inventory when you did the initial inventory count. It's a new item. You are just purchasing or ordering for the item. So how do you record that? So what we do is we come here to stock balances and you record the item. Okay, let's say for example, you have the detergent, let's say it's detergent. Then we'll go to the item ID, which is 004. You put the categories, disposables, you put the unit, maybe it's in sachets. Then you put the opening stock here. Opening stock here would be 0 because it wasn't part of your initial inventory item when you started using the template. It's a new product that you are just making order for. So it will be 0 as opening stock. Since you have nothing in stock, you are just making order for it. Then you can put your minimum stock if you want to specify minimum stock. So this will be 0 since there is nothing like that in your initial inventory item. So you can now go to your purchases and put the order for that particular item. So you can just go to your purchases and input it here. So that's how to input for new items that are not included in your original count. So everything will be 0 here. So your recording will come under purchases the same way you record your normal purchases. So now, how do you record that detergent under your purchases so that you'll be reflecting on your stock balances as a new inventory item? So you come to purchases here. You put the order number, you put the date it was ordered, you put the month. Then the supplier, maybe others, you just want to categorize all those ones since they are not your major suppliers or vendors, others. Then you put item, you put detergent, then the item ID, which is 005. Then you put the unit in sachet, put the quantity that was bought, and put the price paid for that particular quantity. So you have it, you have the balance. So if you are making any payment on it, you record the payment here. If you are not making any payment yet, you leave it. But if you are making payment, you just record on that payment. To come under your detergent as your purchases. So let's check under stock balances. You can see you now have 10,020 under the stock balances. So it has been transferred to your stock balances. So that's how to record it. Then now the next thing is to generate receipts. Let's say we want to generate receipt. So what do? We just come here and put the details of the student. Maybe John Ho. You can put the address here and any other details I want to put for the students. So we can generate receipts. So all we need to do is to select that reference ID. So once we select the reference ID, it will bring out the details of that transaction. We can put the amount in words, 3,000 naira only. So from here, we can print out the receipt by going to File, Print. So we can print out the receipt. And if you want to save the receipt, you can save the receipt as a PDF document. So that's on that. Now let's look at our dashboard to see how the dashboard will look like. Look at the dashboard. You can see we have the total inventory on the dashboard. We have the total purchases. We have the total sales, profit, total payables, and we have a table showing the categories of items that we have and their value that we have in the inventory. All this total will be equal to this. And if you come here, you see the details of the suppliers and the purchases and payables from them. Then we can see the number of items we have for the categories and the number of creditors, people we are owing. So we can see the details. And we can do a stock and month by month stock analysis. This for January. So we can do for February. You can see. We can do for March. Okay, we don't have anything under March here. So you can do for any of the month. And you have the analysis, the graphical analysis also included here on the dashboard. So the dashboard will give you the details of everything you need to know about your inventory. Also, I want to show you how you can generate reports on your purchases of sales or stock balances. So let's say I want to generate report for stationery bought. So all I need to do is to go to the category for stationery. So instead of selecting all, I'll just select stationery alone and I click OK. So it will only give me a report for stationery. So we can do it for all items here, select any criteria we want. The same thing applies to purchases and your sales.